No, they're in.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. I'm going to call the committee of the whole meeting to order for March the 6th, 2023. We have regrets from Mayor Smook. We have online Councillor Fitzpatrick. Regrets from City Manager McGuinness. We have Acting City Manager Director Stefanitz. And we've got a count for everybody, right? Okay. I will like to recognize tonight that we are on Treaty 5 territory, traditional territory of NCN Cree Nation and the homeland of the Métis, and that we are all treaty people. I will look to have approval of the agenda for tonight. Councillor Lundmark, Councillor McIver, all in favor? Carried. Who's in? Number 4 is community comments and feedback. If we have any for this evening.
Just in regards to a question that was asked 2 meetings ago regarding properties in the urban hold. So it's confirmed with assessments. There are 11 registered properties in the urban hold zone. 3 of those properties pay taxes. And of those 3, 2 are leased, 1 is owned. The remaining properties are held by the city. 3 are the cemetery. 1 is the cross-country ski trails. And that leaves 4 undeveloped properties, which are essentially at the far north end of the city of Thompson boundaries, kind of beyond the golf course area up in that part. So that's the 11 properties in the urban.
Thank you. All right, we will move on to reports. 5.1 will be the development report tonight. Go ahead.
Yes, good evening. With regards to the development report, I'll kind of go through the ISIP stuff to start with. So road renewals, the 2023 road renewal is going through its final review. And our goal is to hopefully have it posted by the end of this week, but it may end up slipping into early next. The package includes the roads that are listed there. There's been no increase in costs from the last time I presented. So we're still at $212,000 spent on a $40 million project. Water and wastewater renewals, the phase 2 work, which is Westwood Drive, has been awarded to Accurate HD for the amount of $11 million. We are doing the 95% design review for phase 3, which is in Penny East and Dominion Bay. We are meeting next Monday to finalize those ones. And the goal is to have that tendered by the end of March. Phase 2 and phase 3 work will be completed during the summer of 2023. Total cost invoice to date on that project are $6.4 million against $6.4 million on a total project of $48 million. As was announced a couple of weeks ago, the Canada Community Building Funds, or commonly referred to as the gas tax, there's been an announcement made that municipalities are allowed to use the Community Building Fund to help pay for project increase with ISEP projects. Sonia, myself, and Anthony met with Manitoba last week to review the details of this announcement. Essentially, right now they just need a yay or nay whether Thompson is interested. We have confirmed that we are interested in using this for our projects. All 3 of our ISEP projects apply. So Manitoba is currently updating the contribution agreements, which will then come back to you for review. Asset management software, again, not much moving there. We're still waiting for the last quotes on the local source versus cloud hosting. Once we have that, we'll make the decision to move forward. Facilities basis, it's been a very busy while at the arena. We are kind of, I wouldn't say gearing down yet, but we have marked on the calendar that April 24th is the day that the ice starts to come out. That gives us a couple of weeks to start preparing for the spring events that are being booked into the facilities. Finally, under development, as I reported in past months, there are 5 options to purchase that have currently been approved by council. 2 of these reached their 1-year anniversary at the end of February. 1 of those has confirmed that they will not be renewing, which basically will put that lot back up onto the market. I'm waiting for confirmation on the second one, and that leaves 3 remaining, and these both reach their 1-year anniversary date in the middle of March. If you recall from the options, they have a period of 1 year to make their commitment as to whether they want to go or no go. At the end of 1 year, they have the ability to renew for a second year if they want. So again, I'm following up with those other three as their 1 year anniversary date comes up next week at the middle of the month, and we'll know what's happening with those three. From a building permit perspective, we issued one permit in the month of February, a total construction value of 147,500. And year to date, we've had two building permits with a total construction value of 188,900. Comparing it to last year, we had four permits this time with a construction value of 445,000. The rollout of cloud permits seems to be going very well. We've had a couple of calls just helping to set up accounts. So our building inspector Dan has been working with those builders and developers. We've also posted notice in our City of Thompson section of the Thompson Citizen, and we'll be posting it in the newspaper for the next several rotations. Just information about building permits, the cloud permit address, how you go about setting up the account and that. So just so that people know, and if there are questions, they can get a hold of the building department, Dan, myself, and we can walk through how to set up the accounts. So that's my report.
Thank you very much. Go to Councillor Wong.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. With a few question and a comment. First question would be, the water and wastewater renewal. So you say that we already awarded 11 million to this company for this coming year project. So is that within budget or over budget?
That was over by 2 million from the engineering estimate. I can't remember the percentage, I think I reported that previously, so that was over the estimate from the engineer on the same project.
So follow up that question. So
Yeah.
where's the extra money come from?
So we have to make the decision at the end of the project as to what we're gonna do, whether we're gonna reduce scope or continue to go on ISIP, to go under community building funds money or fund it as a whole. So right now, we're still within the total budget volume. But yes, for that phase, we are over. And as is the comment at every presentation, every project across the province is over budget right now with supplies and materials and the cost of labor. So.
Okay, the second question is Canadian Community Building Funds. So what is the amount that we have in that fund?
I don't know the amount that we have in that fund at this minute. We'll take that as a takeaway. Councillor will come back with that amount.
I can follow up to that. It's approximately 3.7 million.
Okay,
And that'll include the 2023 deposit from what used to be the gas tax.
Okay, final comment. So this one, I just want to clarify this CCBF fund. So which is the money that we have in the bank, which is a reserve, that we can use it for other project, right?
yeah, we
We
get.
can use it to, let's say we want to add a few more miles into our road renewal, but not for matching, we can use that money.
Correct.
But now we're using that money just to top out the difference because of the overbid on the project. So now we have to use up those money to match out the difference, which is the government allow us to touch the money for the matching fund before we not allowed.
Correct. We weren't allowed to stack previously. So this is what they call stacking. So the federal government has already given us money under ISIP. They typically will not allow you to take other federal dollars that you've received and apply to the same project. But they're making the exception with ISIP that you can take the federal dollars from the community building fund and apply it to ISIP.
So when I look at this, I mean, it's good and bad. Good means now we have access to money to match the different because we don't have to go other source. But the bad thing is that now we are taking our saving to top up that difference. So we shorten our project, which is we can do somewhere else. That is a bad part in my opinion. The good part is at least we can touch it. So we have to figure out whether it's better or worse.
And in discussions with Manitoba, we've had this discussion with Manitoba previously, and I've shared is that scope adjustments in ISIP projects are possible. Their line is there is no more funding coming, but scope adjustments is possible. What that means is we would just be doing less kilometers with the money that we have been given, or whatever money is above that, we don't use the community building fund, it would have to come out of some other reserve from the city of Thompson.
Got it, thank you.
Thanks for clarifying, and that'll also be part of the budgets discussions that we're gonna have on whether or not we're even gonna use this money for that particular project.
Correct.
So it's gonna be the direction of council, to even if they're gonna use it. Councillor Colburn, go ahead.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor. I'm a little confused here. Gas money. Wasn't that put into the swimming pool fund?
The which?
Swimming pool? Weren't we saving that for the swimming pool?
The which money?
The gas refund money.
The gas tax.
Gas tax.
Well, it's just sitting in reserve. It hasn't been identified yet on what project. And now that there's flexibility on how you can stack it for ISIP projects, council will make that direction on which capital ISIP project they want to use it for. It
Okay,
could either go to road and water, or it could go to the aquatic facility. I think we'll have a clear picture once we do our budget discussion.
now, can you follow up, please?
Sure.
We had, we were told we had 15 million for food. And this was a part of it.
No,
That dropped,
No.
we still got 15 million?
yeah, this gas tax money, Council Colburn, was never accounted for the aquatic facility. It's just sitting in the gas tax reserve still.
So where did the money we got in the pool come from?
Well, we
11 million from the city, from the province. 2 million from Inco. We had 1 point something million
the trust.
in trust. That's 14 million. So we're close. Okay, I'm okay. with it. Thank
All
you.
right, thank you. Anybody else? Okay, just had a question. Director Sprunitz. I know, I think I asked this before. Did we do any discussions with the high school? On how they're digging up, like with any of our Thompson Drive project? Like, is anything gonna be redesigned in there?
We are working with the school district on the, layout of the boulevards in front of Thompson Drive.
Okay,
That hasn't been finalized yet because that work has now been moved into the summer of 24 work. Because you remember the 23 work for Thompson Drive starts over here at the corner by the hotel. And basically goes up to the corner of Links, so just past the hotel and the Block Gas Bar. At the corner of Links, that's where we're stopping this year, and then we'll continue from Links onwards next time. So we are in discussion about how we want that boulevard laid out in front of the high school.
okay, thank you for that. And just your comment about the busy TRCC, that whole area is very, very busy. Even the high school with some senior provincial basketball events, so just for the public, the next 2 weeks down there is very busy from Sunday to Sunday. So just watch for the safety of that with the construction, some of the being able to see is tough there, how they have the aqua trailers, so public needs to be aware that that is gonna be a busy recreation hub down there from high school curling to our TRCC, which is a good thing. All right, let's move into the recreation report. That was all, Director Sprunts?
That's everything.
Okay, thank you. Wiseman, you're up.
So it is busy at the TRCC. There's a lot of still hockey games going on, practices, tournaments, conferences, birthday parties. So a lot of the rooms that are available, they're booked up quite often. The staff, the event staff, put on a lot over this last couple of months. We held a movie night at we did it in the gym. We had over 200 people attend. MKO actually provided monetary sponsorship for that. We are working with another local business that's actually interested in sponsoring movie nights going forward. We've had a couple of workshops, one we had to cancel due to lack of enrollment. We had another one that completely sold out. The Royal Management Theater came to Thompson again. That's a yearly thing. There was about 113 people that attended that event. We continue to have our drop-in basketball. We recently put up all the sporting banners that were at the TRCC. There was quite a few that weren't put up, so we put those up just before Mon Cup. And Winterfest was held last weekend. It was quite busy. Quite a lot of people turned out for all the events that took place. We had over 17 organizations that actually partook and put on different events. We're just following up, I believe, on Wednesday, with all the groups having our final, meeting with them to kind of see what worked, what didn't work. So that's gonna happen on Wednesday. Yeah, and just moving on, the concession is now open, and I think it's going quite well. It seems to be pretty busy there. We've also installed a Norman North Star logo, as well as the life-size sporting decals have been installed, and there's photographs attached for them. And we've also installed a bigger 75-inch TV, and we also have a 55-inch TV in the lobbies of the TRCC, and they promote the rental of the space, any events that are taking place at the TRCC. So now people who come in, it's not just a piece of paper on the front desk areas, and they can now see it all on the monitors that are in place. And we've also had a backdrop with prop that is set up in the lobby of the TRCC. So that's going to be something new that we do every holiday. So right now it's got St. Patrick's on there. So we have a selfie stick there, and it's used quite often. People seem to enjoy it. And we've also set up the safety tips and the Borla sled signs. They're actually on a box, a photo attached as well. One right now is in at the TRCC. The other one's going to be put up by the sliding hill in the Eastwood area. And we do have toboggans already that are in there. We have a few out. We're just putting a few out at a time. So there's a few that we have quite a few purchased, but we'll just put a few at a time, and they're getting used quite often. That's my report.
Thank you. Any comments from council? Okay, I'm just gonna few. First off, lots of positive comments from Winterfest, and thank you to council that were able to attend and help with the pancakes. I think we figured that there was about 350 people that were fed with the pancakes. So all hands on deck were greatly appreciated. Lots of positive comments about your logos and your life-size athletes that are in the hallway, and that the banners went up. So I also think if we are talking to the user groups, we should see if they think there's any banners missing. Like if there's any noticeable ones that are still out there somewhere that are missing, or we need to redo, just like to miss any that are memorable. And thanks for the initiative on the sleighs and the safety sign with the sliding hill. Anything else on this? Councilor Coburn.
I want to complain about 75-inch TV. Can't watch no hockey when I'm working. Thank you.
You're great. All right. Okay, we are gonna move on to, oh, I know, I was gonna say one more thing if I could. Can you talk a little bit about that spring, jump into spring event? Or,
Okay. Yeah, no, that's.
but you're not gonna have a report before there, are you?
I know we won't, but no, I'm not just kidding.
Oh.
Yeah, no, we have a jump into spring event that is taking place on the 25th of March. It's gonna be held at the TRCC. We did receive a grant for it, a substantial grant. So we've been purchasing a lot of different things over this last few months that we can actually use for future events as well. One being the 30-foot TV screen that we purchased for the that we use for the movie night. The event's going to be, oh, what's going to be in there? There's going to be food. There's going to be hot dogs and pizzas. All of our life-size games that we normally have in the game room in the summertime, they're going to be brought out. We're going to have some in the multi-purpose room. We're going to have some in the gym. We're purchasing, hopefully it's here in time, but 6 big TV screens. They will be on stands, and we'll have Xboxes and Switches. Not a game person, but Switches, so there'll be Switches there, I don't know. So there'll be Switches there, there'll be game bags and kind of stuff there for a lot of kids who don't have those things at home to play. They can come there to play, and that actually will be incorporated in the game room this summer as well. I'm trying to think of what else. There's going to be free shinny, there's going to be free skating. We're hoping that we can have jam health curling as well. There's bouncy houses going to be set up as well in the gym. We're trying to get, we're going to see if we can get the lady to come to do the kind of tattoos and stuff, those types of things. So yeah, it's going to be free. It was going to be, I think from 12 12 to 8:30. And we're open that council, some council members can come out and ask me to cook the hot dogs at noon. So if they can, great, let us know. And there's also gonna be fireworks, so we will be having fireworks, and it's gonna be probably the best, but we have a pretty big budget, double the budget that we had for the winter fest, so we should have some really good fireworks. So,
Excellent. So it's a family day.
a family day.
Perfect. Thanks for that. 5.3 is the Public Works report tonight. Director McLean.
Good evening. So our public works crews are currently working Monday to Friday, 7:30 a.m. until midnight. The focus for our evening shift is mainly hauling snow. There's a lot of snow up there to try to get rid of. So bear with us, but we are working at it. Our center operations are continuing Monday to Saturday. And then evening sanding operations will happen as needed if the roads are extra slippery. So far, we've received 170 centimeters of snowfall this season for Environment Canada. Mud and trail maintenance continues with snow clearing and removal of any fallen trees. Our city crews helped out with the Winterfest for building the snow stage, the bonfire area, fireworks area for the Winterfest, as well as our outdoor ring maintenance is continuing. Now with the single digit minus temperatures we're getting, if that sun is shining pretty good, it's gonna warm up our outdoor rinks and make them pretty soft. So we're gonna try our best to get floods on there as best we can in the cooler temperatures, but just be mindful for any kids that are going out there in the evening time. It's been nice and sunny all day, that ice is gonna be nice and soft all around the board. We will keep an eye on that. If it gets too warm, we might have to close it down, but we'll make sure. Hopefully not. Our waste disposal grounds is still currently operating under the winter schedule that will go until the first Saturday of May. And our one-stop drop continues to be open Tuesdays and Thursdays, accepting all household paints, light bulbs, oil, batteries, and waste. There's no cost or disposal of those items. For the water and sewer side for February, we had 4 water main repairs, 1 service break repair, and 1 hydrant repair. And you can see there the ongoing work, that is a living list. That list never stops. As we repair something else shows it back up on. And then our water plant and our wastewater plants are operating as per licenses. They're plants, so there's always things that are gonna need to be repaired and worked on, but they are continuing to operate as per our licenses. One thing that's not on our report, but kind of important, and I know there's still snow on the ground, but we need to start talking about clean community program. This is usually the time that we would bring this forward to the Public Works Committee, so open for suggestions at any point in time. If anybody has any ideas for a clean community program, whether it be a partnership with another organization or just an internal program again.
Anybody have any comments? Councilor O'Rourke.
Just a question, if you can get into more of what the clean community program was.
Okay, it was different every year, but our clean community program essentially is cleaning up litter around the city. In the past, we did give out $3 per bag of garbage that individuals picked out for the entire month. You know, at the time, the recycle center matched for recycling and even actually offered $4 a bag for good recycling. We did start to move away from that portion of the program, but we had prizes at one point in time, and go out, post your cleanup on Facebook, get your name entered in for a draw. And then other times where it's just kind of what's for organizations, challenges to businesses, challenges to schools, and even within the city to go and clean up. There's never actually prizes for those ones, but just a prize for your city. So open to any suggestions for this year. So.
Yeah, we've always had different, and we would have, did we do the free day at the waste landfill? That was always a touchy thing. We can discuss that at budget, but we would sometimes discuss doing that.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, we've tried all different kinds of things. Councilor Landmark, and we had your hand up.
Yeah, I know that we used to the different businesses and everything that would do certain areas and stuff. I don't know how that got communicated out, and I know our communication officers have gone out, so wondering how one of the big things is just be getting the word out for doing that. They used to clear out from here to the river for problems, right? And then there was, the city we did from Sea Center, or whatever it's called now, Michelle to towards the hospital. I just know that getting that communication up to some of the folks that can make those decisions to allow their staff out. The timing right is good. Everybody's looking to volunteer for a while, I'm sure. It certainly helps. This is the spring, wow. Yeah, there's a lot of junk up there, people toss up and live.
So this typically starts, remember it always used to be what, that first Saturday in June and it would snow, wasn't it? So you know, started now the last 3 weeks of June, or right before, it would end before nickel days, right?
That's usually kind of, if we
The
try to aim it within the month of June, but yeah, we have a reason, always got snow that
Yeah.
first or ridiculously cold weather, that would also be okay. So then, we always try to set it, but always, yeah, try to work it up until nickel days. And from there, but I mean, if we had to extend it longer, we had to extend it, we'll have to extend it longer. Ideally, 1 month. If we could, it'd be awesome, if it was in May, but I can't see that ever happening. But yeah, June would be roughly over.
Okay. Councillor Wong?
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. I just want to follow up one of the requests by Councillor Fitzpatrick a while ago about the snow parade policy. So I believe that night we had quite a bit of a conversation, and I'm wondering, is there any action taken? And then even the city manager suggests maybe you guys can come back some number that if we want the kind of surveys, what would be? So I just want to follow up, is there any action taken? And if it is on the way, when can we have a chance to discuss that again?
Yeah, I can start with that, Director McLean. First off, the numbers and what the cost would be will be a budget discussion. That was the direction from city manager to the department. And secondly, I believe it was the updating of the map, which was supposed to be a priority from that. And also, it was also the direction for council to review the policy and to submit changes that they would like to see to city manager to have the department discuss. I'll go to the. Anything else? Okay, thank
So
you.
can we set a date or something like that to get all that together, or we just let it flow to whenever we like to?
No, we won't be setting a date. Has council sent in their requests and their ideas to change? I'll go to Tammy. Have you received any information?
No.
So there'll be no date until city council reviews the policy and puts forth any changes. Besides the change that came from Councilor Fitzpatrick for having the map updated at that time.
So far, just the map updated.
So far, that was the request from Councilor Fitzpatrick, and then the numbers to have some of the different services, that dollar amount is going to be part of our budget discussion as council.
Thank you for the reply.
You're welcome, Councilor McIver.
The question I have is like for next year, for the snow and that. Is, how do we change from clearing the streets right away from, you know, instead of piling them and then every year we use all this time and work and to move that snow, like instead of doing it then at that time, instead of waiting at the end of the year and just start piling everything again, and it's a waste of money and a waste of time, and you know, it should have been done from day one, clear the streets, put the snow in the truck, and then instead of piling them and then we started piling them in trucks. It's
Right, so I think that was part of your request for the department to figure out those extra costs, and that you'll see at budget to do that, what that cost would be on the budget side. Yeah, but if there's anything within that policy that you want to see changed, you have to communicate that to Tammy, and then once all that communication is in, then we would actually have a review as a council on changing that policy. Yeah,
thank you.
you're welcome. Councilor Coburn, did you have your hand up?
Yes,
Sorry.
thank you. The snow clearing policy, I think we as a council, we've been talking about it all the time. I think we should ask for that to come in an in-camera meeting in 2 weeks as well. To make it all. You know, we don't have certain things we want changed. We want to see the policy again and discuss it. That's what I want to see. I think my fellow councilors agree with me. You know, why we gotta initiate some reason to change something when we just want to discuss the policy?
All right, so we did discuss this policy. It was brought to the table and we had a discussion already once. So from that discussion, the direction was for council to send in your changes after you've reviewed the policy so that we can meet again to change it or go through it. But we've already discussed it once, so if you're not bringing forward any changes, we just can't have a meeting to talk
Well-
about it again. We already just talked about it.
Well,
Yeah, but
I think we've made some comments, words changes, and we've never been given that on camera. I bet you can go back and watch the last public works when we had it there. That there was stuff discussed about changing. I wanted to know about, priority 3. I wrote down in front, city administrator, history, that's done once this year. I asked him. Right, once all year, 177 centimeters, the director said himself. So I'd like to see that thing come back. I think councilors should vote on it, we got the right to vote on it and bring it back. But
okay, so in the meantime, council bring forward what you want to see changed. I
no,
think,
I want to see the policy again. Not what I want changed. Right.
okay, so Councillor Colburn, can we have the policy sent to him again? So
I
we
got
can
the
review-
policy.
Okay, so if you
Right,
want
I
to see
read
any
the
change,
policy.
if you want to see any changes, Councillor Colburn, put them in writing so that we can all put in our changes, we can discuss it again, and then we'll have it in camera or.
What about we don't want to make no changes, we just want to talk about it.
Okay. All right, Councillor Lenmark, did you have comments?
I think Councilor Charles.
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead, Councillor Chang, and then we'll meet you.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor.
Okay.
I heard you mention so many times about budget. How soon are we going to look at the budget? To discuss the budget?
Yep, absolutely. Good question. So once the CFO starts, the new CFO, that will be one of the top mandates for her to get the information to start meeting with council to have the budget prepared.
So sometime next month or?
When would be an immediate time frame because it has to be to the province by May 15th.
So we don't have much time then?
Nope,
Okay.
no, so it'll be all done before it goes to the province for May 15th. And tomorrow is the upcoming provincial budget, so everyone's cautiously optimistic that hopefully there's more funding. And with that new funding announcement that got last week or the week before, that will be a direct impact to our budget also on the positive side. So it's actually good that we haven't got to budget yet because we've had some more revenues now with some of the provincial announcements.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. I gotta go to Councillor Fitzpatrick. He's been waving at me.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry for.
In regards to the snow clearing policy, when I spoke, I did ask for 2 changes. I asked for the map to be upgraded. And I asked for Campbell to be changed to priority 2 as it sits right now. It's, to me, it's the same as McCusco. It should be level 2 and we never did get back to the policy. It was kind of a drop at the meeting as far as I was concerned, and I think it does need to be brought back and discussed.
Councillor Fitzpatrick, I missed your first sentence about which street should be level 2.
Campbell.
Campbell.
This is the only way in and out of our subdivision down there, and when it snows and it snows hard down there, it all gets packed in. To me, it's the same as Wacusco. It's a feeder for our whole area.
Okay. Thanks
And
for-
it was never brought back and discussed at council.
Okay. Do you have any comments on the second request? I forgot about that.
I mean, it wasn't a consensus from the committee for that, but it was a change across the board. It was any other change across the board. When there was, and that policy was gonna come back, that was gonna be part of the discussion for it.
Okay. Okay. Somebody else or Councillor Lenmark?
Yeah, all I was gonna ask is make sure that everybody takes a look at, really reviews that policy and sends in our questions. Because as it is right now, it sounds like it's piecemeal. A counselor asks for one change and another counselor gonna be doing this in budget, so we have to do this soon. We have to get those questions in soon. So our staff has time to take it back and say, okay, this is gonna cost, if we change this, it's gonna cost us this more, much more. Us talking about it at the time when we're in budget. And you're saying we're gonna change something to a level 2. Without any costs associated with it, and they haven't had time to look at it. We'll be spinning our wheels, waiting to do that, discuss that again at another budget meeting. So we'll be extending that. So if we have our I's dotted and our T's crossed, we've reviewed that policy, which is our policy committee. And we add streets, change the levels that they're gonna be serviced at. And get that to our administration so that they can get the dollars. Then when we have our discussion, we'll all be talking with information at hand. Right? That's all I'm hoping that everybody can, I hope that clears it up.
Thank you. What, Director McLean, when is your next public works report to us? You guys already know that?
First meeting of the
So you're the third of April. That's public works report, March 3rd. April 3rd. Or sorry, April 3rd. So like 3 weeks, so. Okay, so we'll bring it back April 3rd. It'll be part of the Public Works Committee report.
Yep.
So you have till now until March 27th, if you have stuff that you want to ensure and have a good look at it. I know Councilor McIver, like. Now's our chance to review it and send it in, and then we'll bring back for discussion on Monday, April 3rd as the Public Works Committee report. All right, we're good. Councilor Colburn?
So I want to vote on whether to bring it back in camera.
I'm gonna go to Tammy.
It's not an in-camera issue.
Okay,
There's only,
okay.
there's only 5 things
Okay.
that fall underneath the in-camera.
Okay, but I'm being denied the right to ask our counselor for a vote to bring it back.
I'm not denying you, I'm just telling you that it
Well, you
doesn't
won't
fall
let-
under
you
the
won't let it
in-camera.
call.
Councilor bringing it back on April
I
3rd.
want to call rather back in camera.
Councilor Oberdorfer?
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. I just want to say that I agree with administration that speaking about the snow clearing policy is not an in-camera topic. And I don't agree that it should be in camera. I do think that we do clearly need further discussion on the policy, but I also agree with Deputy Mayor Valentino that we should have our questions brought forward to administration before that meeting so that we can have a productive conversation and actually vote on the changes that we want made to that policy so that we don't send back questions and then have to return to the table again, you know, a month later or 2 weeks later, the following meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we're gonna move on to legislative reports. We're gonna go on to 6.1. The letter from Barry Rempel, Director of Regional Operations, Manitoba Transportation and Infrastructure in regards to the safety of provincial trunk highway 6 and the electric vehicle charging stations. And the letter is attached. Did everybody read this or are you guys wanting me to read this? This is stemmed out of when we were at the AMM Fall Convention, you had the opportunity to sign up to have a meeting with this department and we never got scheduled. So this was the follow-up to our request for the meeting. That sound correct, Tammy? Okay, because I was questioning why it was written like that. So am I supposed to read this, Tammy?
No, you don't have to read it.
Okay. Does you guys want me to read
Deputy
it?
Mayor.
Sorry.
Yeah, this letter was just more of an information, as you say, it was a follow-up from your, from the last round of meetings in Winnipeg. Barry is sharing this with, the manager of transportation energy around charging stations on Highway 6. So there might be more information coming, but this was just a kind of a, for information.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Director. Councilor Limerick?
I think he's asking us as well, is if we do want a meeting with him, we can ask for it. I don't know how everybody else is feeling about that.
That's up to council. Right, then we can't get the vote.
Then you can vote right now, but see if we want a consensus to ask for another meeting.
So would council like to have a meeting with Mr. Rempel in regards to Highway 6? All those in favor
Yes.
want a meeting with the department? All right, we'll have administration schedule a meeting with the department and follow-ups to the letter. 6.2 is a letter from Crime Stoppers in regards to a funding request. Go ahead.
So the letter attached from Crime Stoppers is a request for essentially some funding. There's a memo attached from the executive assistant, it's basically saying the last time that the city approved such contribution was back in 2016. At that time, the contribution was at 10 cents per resident. The funding request has now gone up to 25 cents per resident. And basically the total cost of the city would be $3,258.75. So again, what are the wishes of council with regards to this? Would they like to move this forward to the council agenda, or is there other requests?
I can take some back context to this, is that one of the reasons we stopped funding it was because it was Manitoba wasn't actually directed to local, the city of Thompson event, so it just kind of went into the pot for the entire. That was one of the reasons. Councillor Lenmark?
We asked the RCMP if there's any assistance up here, but I know that Crime Stoppers is used quite often. In watch CKY news, and you see there's a lot of crime that takes place in stolen equipment and farming land and stuff like that, so it's used quite regularly. And I see posters, signs here sometimes in town, especially when there's people sitting or something like that, and that's very important, but I thought we'd speak when we have a meeting with our RCMP the next time, and we saw this here already for community safety officers, but I thought maybe we'd be able to pose that question to them or ask them to take a look at this and do this, what they think.
Can we take that back? Can we make sure that's on the agenda for when the RCMP give their report for their next report? Anybody else? Councillor Wong?
Thank you, Deputy. I think I would not support this because of the reason you already mentioned, Deputy, earlier, and I don't see the money worth for that donation or whatever fee they call it. So I will continue not to support that moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Fitzpatrick, did you have your hand up?
No, I didn't, no.
Okay. Councillor McCarver?
Yeah, thank you, Deputy Mayor. I think we should just, like, I don't agree with the team to go to Crime Stoppers. We have enough crime here that we need to take care of. Instead of the whole match. Oh, but. Thank you.
Okay. So I'll just ask council then, for a show of hands, if we want to move this forward to council agenda. Okay, seeing none, we won't, but we will have the question posed to the RCMP to see if there's like a local committee or how they interact with us here. Thank you. I will move for an adjournment, please. Councilor Lenmark, Councilor Oberdorfer, all those in favor? Thank you. Thanks, Louis.
You're welcome. Thank you.
I forgot that he's in the fall.
Yeah. So, can't get no answers.